Hello, Christ Greenfield. Welcome to CG Live. Pastor Michael here with Marlon. Oh man, it's going to be a great day. We're going to talk about Guatemala and short-term mission trips and how incredible and fruitful they can be for us. But I thought, Marlon, we'd start out with maybe what's a fun fact that maybe we don't know about Marlon Lamb.
Here's a fun fact to add to the greater conversation. I was born in Panama. I grew up in Guatemala. And now I live in the U.S. So I actually have three nationalities.
And now you're officially a U.S.
That's correct. Recent development in my life story.
Wow, that is quite the history.
Yeah,
that's
both
quite
the nations.
History. Yes, yeah. World traveler over here. I had a fun fact because we're going to talk about Guatemala. My fun fact is I've been to Guatemala several times.
Ooh.
But no, this is the fun fact. I grew up, I never liked coffee. I used to only drink tea.
All right. I think, hold up. That's really sad.
I missed out.
I respect those of you who don't like coffee, but that's sad.
I missed out on so much.
You did.
We went to Guatemala, and part of the trip we went to see this world-renowned roaster. And she has one of her roasting places is on her property. And so we went and we got to meet her, an incredible woman. Cool. And she talked about coffee and where she gets her beans and how she roasts and different things. And so we had beans that were harvested and roasted right that morning, right there. And I had some, beautiful. I was oh, well, this is what coffee. It was so.
Now we're talking.
So delicious.
You could not go back.
You can't go back.
Yeah.
You can't go back. And so ever since now I love.
I mean, I may be biased.
Yeah.
People will have different opinions, but Guatemala has the best.
So good.
Coffee.
They do.
In the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah. So that's my fun fact. And so the reason why Guatemala is coming up is this summer you guys are doing a short-term mission trip to Guatemala.
Guatemala.
Oh my gosh. And so why, I guess to start off, what's the why behind the what? Why do short-term missions?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think there's so many different opinions, and there's a big conversation around mission trips. I was very fortunate. My parents, I grew up in the missions world. So my parents have been or were missionaries since 1985. So I grew up around a lot of people in this world, and I just very blessed to grow up in that context. I think when you think about something like mission trips, I think the main goal here is just an opportunity to serve, an opportunity to love, and an opportunity to grow in your knowledge of the world and your knowledge of God and Christians, whether it's in your in your own country or somewhere else in a different country. But I think there's also we know the Great Commission, Matthew 28, that says, go, Jesus says, go and make disciples of all nations. This is the one calling that we as Christians share. This one calling Jesus gave us, go make disciples, teach them what I've taught you, teach them to obey what I've taught you, baptize them in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, and I will be with you. So I think there's a misconception that you are a missionary when you're only a missionary when you go on mission trips or you, are full-time serving in the missions environment, right?
Yeah.
But I think because of this calling that we have from Jesus, and there's actually some people that say that verse says go and make disciples. It means in your going.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The go, which we translate as an imperative, is actually a participle, which means it should be going, on your going. On your
going to baseball practice, volleyball practice, to school, to work. Right? So isn't that cool? So we have an opportunity to be disciple makers everywhere we go and share about Jesus. What's fun about mission trips is this is a carved out time for people to get together and just learn about flexibility, learn about serving others, learn about Jesus, learn about other cultures. It's just, I would say, an on-ramp to learn more about other people and serve and love It's so much fun.
Yeah, on-ramp's a really good description because it is on-ramp to see, like you mentioned, the Great Commission, how like it's not only when we go out and do mission trips, but like I feel like short-term mission trips opens up your eyes to see like, oh, I am an everyday missionary. I know for me, I wouldn't be probably sitting here. I wouldn't be a pastor without short-term mission trips like on high school because it really got me outside of my bubble.
Yes.
And those were the times when like God just like showed up and my faith became, I took more ownership of my faith. And two, not only does it get outside your bubble, but it is an opportunity to serve, but also to learn. Like if you go in as a learner, because I think that's a lot of the hiccup is like we try to go in and be the hero, but really, you know,
so true.
It's so true.
We're so blessed by like doing, like we think we're gonna go give, but we're not only giving, but we're also receiving.
Oh man, yeah, that is 100% true. Like every time I've gone and being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna show up and be the hero. Man, a lot of humility comes and you realize like what a blessing they are to me. And so, it is a humbled opportunity to just go and be the hands and feet of Jesus and learn about other people, other cultures, and just to see your eyes open to see what God is doing all over the world.
And that he moves everywhere, right? Like
he moves everywhere.
He's working. I love that because as someone who's not like, I did not grow up in this country. Like I've had the opportunity to learn about your culture in the last 9 years that I've been here. And I've like appreciated that so much. And everywhere that I go, I'm like, so cool to see this facet, this side of God. Is that how you would say that? Like, in this particular culture, in this language.
Yeah.
And that's the fun thing about like doing like international mission trips. Yeah. Like any mission trip is fun, but I just love getting to see different cultures, learn about them, learn more about God through that process.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if I had to sum up like why short-term mission trips is you get to see God on the move. And it's so beautiful to see. And then you get to be a small part of being his hands and feet to see what he's doing, but also to be blessed by like people from other cultures. And you just like learn so much and it can nurture and grow your own faith. Amen. I guess, Marlene, what would you say? Like, why are you so passionate about like mission trips or missions in general?
I think if I have to sum it up, I would say one of the greatest enemies of the church or any Christian in general is comfortability. Is that that's how you say it? Just being comfortable. And I would say these mission trips are a great opportunity, a great avenue to get out of your comfort zone. Practice flexibility. It just pushes you. And I think it's good to step a little bit outside of our comfort zone because then we are reminded of a lot of principles that as Christians we need in our day-to-day faith journey. We need to depend on God for everything. We truly do. And we often forget when we're comfortable, when we have everything that we need. Maybe God is there, but he is just there and we're not like it's not our source. So I would probably say it's like getting outside of our comfort zone and just seeing the needs that are around the world and seeing why it's so important to share the love of Jesus with others, why the world needs it.
It really does like stretch you, and that's usually where growth comes is through getting outside your comfort zone, trying like new things. And I think it's also incredible you discovered these new passions or gifts and abilities that God like put on your heart. And so it is almost like a little bit like a self-discovery. I mean, that was for me. Like I discovered more of like who I was, who God called and created me, to be.
Yeah.
And two, just to see like the needs, because we are very cozy and comfortable. And when you see kind of the needs of others, and then to think I get to be God's fulfillment of his promise to be with these people and to help them in whatever way I can, to like, I get to tangibly be the hands and feet of Jesus. And what a profound reality. Like it's like,
and that's Jesus, right? Like,
yeah.
like he served others. Like, he is the biggest example that we have in servant leadership. Like, it's just mind blowing. And I just think that any opportunity that we get to be stretched, to learn how to serve, to learn how to love others, to see how God moves in other people's life is, we should step into that, lean into that.
Yeah.
But it's hard. You know?
It's easier said than done. We need his help. And we need like others sometimes to maybe push us, or just like these opportunities, like going on short-term mission trips, and they're just taking that little like a leap of faith. So as I mentioned, we're going to Guatemala.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Guatemala? Yes, so it's so exciting. So we are going and partnering with an organization that's called Students International, and they're in different countries around Latin America. But we're going to Guatemala, and we are going to be partnering with full-time missionaries. So they work at this organization, they serve the communities all year round, and they're creating these beautiful relationships with people in the community, so that the main goal is to share the love of Jesus with people in these communities. And they found different expressions, different needs in the community. So we'll be serving in different ministry sites. And it's so fun because there's child sponsorship site, there's microfinance site, special education site, the sports site. There's 8 to 9 of them. And these are just felt needs that the community has. And these are ways that we can maybe jump in some projects and help out, create relationship with people, join into that relationship that's already there, and just serve the community. As an example, the sports side is, you would say, oh, sports, tell me more about that, Marlon. And I'm sure. Our friend Maddie and my friend Maddie and I were there in January just to explore and see this beautiful ministry. And there's this one particular community that SI, Students International, works with, and it's a very poor community. And there's a lot of young kids that they are either in broken families, or just there's a lot of need, and a lot of gangs approach these kids and try to lure them into this world. So Byron, one of the ministry leaders there, his ministry is so important there because they go and try to reach these kids through things like sports, creating spaces for them to play soccer, to find I can create community. I have community through this, or I'm good at soccer. We call it football, but that's fine. Soccer, the proper name. Baseball. I don't know, just different opportunities, and they do discipleship groups through this. It's just so wonderful to see the real life impact that it's having in people in the community. So.
I think a couple of things that's so beautiful about the organization and the way short-term missions is going to be done is